All right, everybody. Thanks for joining in. This is an AMA with Spartan Capital. This project is something I'm very excited to bring to you all. I think that after you listen to what some of these guys have planned and have in store, you'll end up excited as well. Guys, can you go ahead and introduce yourselves for anybody that may not know you?
Yeah, I'm Newmanon. You can find me on Twitter or the Spartan Capital Discord.
Aries, you can also find me on the Discord channel. We're
And
both.
what do you guys do
founders
with
of
the project?
We're
We're
both founders of the project. You
So,
want to tell a
so
little bit
for
about yourself, Numenon, just like your background and stuff, just for the crowd, and then I'll go after you.
Yeah, I'm just a small business owner that's been investing in. First started in the stock market and then moved over to crypto late 2017, and just you know basically investing, and then just kind of saw the space in DeFi and a lot of the stuff that's unsustainable, and me and Aries and Andrew basically got to talking. We knew each other for a while and just talked about what we could do better, and went from there.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Similar. I'm similar in that business owner, kind of day-to-day normie job, and kind of work in the green energy construction space and do a couple other things, and started investing in crypto and got into a lot of these DeFi as a service, node as a service projects. And we felt like there was a interesting angle we could kind of bring to the table to change it up from the normal kind of just pump and dump token, wells doing well things that we're all in here and very accustomed to and familiar with.
Awesome. So, for everybody that's listening or anyone that's going to be listening, can you guys explain what Spartan Capital is if people don't know already?
Sure. So basically what we're doing is we are leveraging NFT technology to create liquidity in traditionally illiquid assets that you find in either the DeFi or node crypto space. Ones that not only are they illiquid, and when I say illiquid, I mean often is that once you have sunk your initial cost of capital into that project, it's either vested over a period of time or just maybe gone for forever. We wanted to create liquidity through NFTs while also eliminating some of the barriers around kind of the cost to enter into these projects by making them more affordable through fractionalization. And then I would say second to that, that's kind of the first really kind of core tenet of what we're doing. I would say secondly would be to introduce additional earning opportunities by merging play to earn and metaverse mechanics into the project itself. That's really been kind of, and I would honestly say that's kind of at the heart or the core of what we're really doing here. And then lastly, is really allowing transparency and diversification of choice through our holders. And what I mean by that is, and I don't say this to pick on any particular project, but if you look at, for example, something that probably everyone in here knows about, Thor, when Thor makes a decision to invest in whatever it may be, you really, while you may be able to, voice your concern or your cause for, hey, this is a great idea in voice chat or in text or through a DAO or whatever, whatever the result is, you're stuck with that, right? The masses rule. What we've done is every single time we initiate a new investment, it will be done in the form of an NFT, which will give users and holders of the Spartan Capital community the ability to choose what their particular portfolio looks like within the scope of our project. So if, for example, you're overly exposed to Thor and say Thor ends up being an investment, you don't have to compound or invest into Thor. You can choose to invest in, ABC other property that maybe you're more interested in or you want more exposure to or you just enjoy or believe in more. So those are really the three core tenets. It's, creating liquidity on illiquid assets. It's creating offering choice and transparency for our holders, and then also merging in kind of the play to earn metaverse mechanics in an actual deliverable way, something that we can have up and running in a 90 to 180 day window.
Right. So I definitely want to get into the metaverse thing here in a few minutes, but I think one of the big big things that I liked about you guys, when we were first kind of vetting your project, Johhny and I both were kind of like, it's just another one of those projects that are investing into, Strong or DAG or Thor or whatever it might be. But I think what I like about you guys with this NFT is it doesn't have to be just like if you say you invest in Strong and then you invest in DAG and you invest in, we'll say, Thor, um, you can pick and choose which NFT you want to have exposure to that particular project. And I really like that about you guys.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, it's definitely one of the core tenets of what we're trying to do. So, and a couple of the ways that we're going to be doing that, one, obviously the founder team will have a large impact in making some of those decisions, but we're also developing what we're referring to as the Spartan Council. This is also talked about at length on either Medium post or FAQs. Or also inside the light paper that you can find either on Twitter or in our Discord channel. But that council will be made up of peers that are visible, have YouTube channels, run other investment committees or communities within the crypto space, where those people will be working and compensated through Spartan Capital to spend their time and resources to create opportunities for OTC deals, seed funding deals, initial allocation deals, and then just also doing the due diligence to find out good opportunities to invest in. And then that council and committee will be putting those opportunities at the forefront and making them available for the Spartans. So it's, while yes, there's sort of a decentralized voting kind of mechanic that's in place where everyone can, put up ideas to invest in, we have a plan in place on how to both attract qualified and talented groups of people that are well known within the community, and then also hopefully that leads to successful investment opportunities in the long term for everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you go into and explain what kind of security measures you guys have in place as far as like doxing, contract audits, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we've done the Spywolf KYC. We have multi-sig, Gnosis multi-sig already set up, and we're actually in talks now to get two basically community members from two different well-known communities to be part of the multi-sig. And then, the contract, we just came out of testnet, and we basically have had it looked at by a third party. I don't know if you're familiar with Up Only, but they have a guy who does looks at contracts. And then we're also going to do a full audit once we do the claim, once the claim function is finished.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
In addition to that, two other things I want to touch on to make sure is, for us, the tip. I mean, like, there's a lot of nefarious angles that can come into play on these types of projects, but one of the kind of front of mind ones is the, devs do something type thing, right? And the devs doxing or being doxed, especially if they're a part of the team. So one of the things that we sought out to do from the beginning is, rather than recruit and seek to obtain members that understand how to write code and are part of our actual team that are building the infrastructure parts of the project, is we've actually instead done an RFP, RFQ process to outsource that development aspect to an actual company. So the devs that are building any sort of contracts or Solidity or whatever it may be in the behind the scenes is an actual brick and mortar company that has a formal mailing address. They have a LinkedIn page. They have a website. The members that run that company are fully doxed. If you want to, you can go pick at their office. And we did that on purpose to, for us to focus on building the project and what we have in plan for where we want to go year 1, year 2, year 3 from a roadmap perspective and delivering value, and not get stuck up on the contracting aspect of it, and instead outsource that to reputable third parties. And so that was something that I think it's important to talk about.
Awesome. Can you go into what your guys' plan for long-term sustainability is? I think, there's a lot of these projects that they're not going to be around in 6 months. Like if you got in early, then you're going to make the most money at that point. But what are you guys going to do that's different from everybody else to be self-sufficient and sustainable? I know it goes into what your three things are, but maybe we can just get into those things right now.
Yeah, I mean, first we're paying rewards what we receive out. You know, we don't need new investors to pay the old investors, and that's kind of like, you know, what that was kind of the first core of, we want something sustainable. And you know, by doing that, you know, NFTs and different core assets that people can choose to get in or get out of through the NFTs by putting them, you know, on the market or holding them, being able to buy the amount of NFTs that they want. So it's not, you know, if they want a smaller exposure to a project or a larger, it's totally up to them. And then the main thing is going to be the play to earn, because we're going to basically be building on, you know, already existing infrastructure. So it's not like we're having to go create a game from scratch. We're basically going to, you know, all the mechanics and everything is there, and we'll basically create our world, which people will be able to play in. And that's going to be, you know, have an economy. People are going to get, you know, paid to play. And also we'll have NFTs where people can also own NFTs in game to also receive passive income with those NFTs through shops and stuff like that.
And then 20% of the proceeds from the game itself go back into the project treasury. And again, this kind of goes back into the Spartan Council that we talked about a little bit earlier. That council will be redirecting those 20% of funds into more what's called like risk on asset opportunities. So, you know, think of it as like every kind of core NFT when it comes out will have more what's not called risk averse in the crypto sense, right? So in traditional, you know, traditional finance, probably not very risk averse, but in crypto, more risk averse, solid, reputable, long-term, transparent, full docs team type of investments. But then you'll also have these additional kind of risk on crypto opportunities and exposures that will be delivered to you through the 20% of earnings in the metaverse play to earn game, and then also through secondary market sales. 50% of that also is redirected into that treasury pool.
So I think, to recap what we've talked about so far, just so anybody that's just coming in now, or maybe someone that hasn't put it all together in a simple way in their mind yet, can understand. Essentially, what these guys I think are trying to deliver is, most projects, like let's say you invest in a project which invests in other projects itself. Normally you're getting what would be called in TradFi an index fund of whatever they want to be invested in, correct? So like, well, you used Thor as an example. If Thor wants to buy X amount of this investment, Y amount of this other investment, you get exposed to both of those investments and you don't have a choice. You all are building something which would be a little bit different. It would be more like a self-directed fund where each person can choose their level of exposure to whatever they want that you offer. So for instance, I already have a lot of exposure to Strong. If I didn't want any more exposure to Strong, but I wanted exposure to a DAG node, for instance, I could purchase those NFTs through you all and receive rewards based on the gains that are made with that DAG, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. And then so as you continue, the path forward is you're going to be offering more and more NFT products that would allow me to have a wider exposure of you know, to different projects, but you're also going to incorporate a game which is then going to reward the NFT holders with earnings from the game, and also be able to be used within the game for different, you know, cool features I'm sure you have developing.
Yeah, and if you look at, you can go check our latest Medium article out. But basically, we've got some like compounding numbers on there. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to compound those core assets, because the core assets we're looking at are going to be longer term payout, stable, you know, in the crypto sense. As far as like been paying out, they are stable, but they're not going to be the craziest returns. And that's what the 20% from the play to earn will be going to, will be, you know, vetted projects that the Spartan Council puts forward and then the Spartans vote on. But through the compounding of those other assets, it's like, if you look at, you know, the NFTs are going to go up in value as the projects, the core assets keep going and we keep compounding, like your year 1, year 2, year 3, and as it keeps going, you're going to be making more and more off your initial investment.
Yeah. And so let me ask you a question. You're going to be releasing these NFTs. Are you releasing your own DApp for them to be traded on, or are you just going to use like NFT Trade, OpenSea, etc.?
Yeah, just NFT trade.
Excellent.
There
And
will the intention is to have a DApp where you can function within it with as far as like our investment options that are out there, but our intention isn't to like build a new, NFT trade or OpenSea or anything like that.
yeah, so basically you're going to allow people to interact with their NFTs as far as your, which ones they can invest in, et cetera, within your DApp. But then
Correct.
to like, let's say they said, okay, like we used the example earlier, I have enough exposure to Strong. I bought some at first, but I want to pick up more exposure to maybe Gala if you guys get invested in that. Or I'm bullish, Gala announces some news and I want to switch my portfolio up. I could take my Strong NFTs, I could sell them on NFT Trade, and then I could pick up some from your DApp that
Correct.
maybe have more focus on Gala.
Or just
Correct.
buy other people that have their Gala nodes or their Gala NFTs listed on NFT Trade too. Right. You could literally just do that transaction within that other interface, or you could, maybe you keep your strong NFTs and you just compound instead into the Gala ones. And then like sell off slowly. Like, the strategies on how you manage that portfolio would be up to you.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're all right. So let me ask you a question about the NFTs. So is it going to be something to where as time goes on, those NFTs become more valuable to buy? Like, so if I get on launch and you guys have strong nodes ready to go, is it going to be something where it's better to be an early investor into it and get that early NFT right away when you guys first launch it? Or is it going to be kind of like a um, set fee for the NFT?
No, so I mean, when we launch our NFT, they'll be tied to just the normal, the $250, or like if we have future ones, they may be at a different price point depending on what the core investment is. But you'll be able to buy that NFT, and then like I said, from the compounding strategies, like if year 1, say we just I don't can't remember them off the top of my head, but say you're making 400 the first year, and then the next year your NFT is making 2,500 off that investment, and then the third year it's making $12,000 off that investment. As your NFT becomes more and more valuable because of what it's paying out. And that also doesn't even take into account, as we build the game, it should become more and more profitable as we go, because we'll start off with more of the player mechanic stuff. Like we're looking to do like an arena where people can do one-on-one, or 3-on-3 or group battles in the arena and earn prize money. And then as we open up more and more of the stuff in the game, we'll have more of the economy and stuff built out. And so as we keep opening up, that profit from the game should also increase. So the 20% that people are getting from the profit of the game will also increase and be part of the NFT value.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Yeah. So on the secondary market, basically the market will determine the value of whatever the NFT is worth, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
And it's also, it has the additional benefit of, there's the common issue of, it's like if we had a token, right, and then you have some whale come in because they got in early and they buy the like giga rare $100,000 node, and so now they're shitting out tokens left and right, and they're just dumping on you. Even if the project does well, it suppresses the value of what's really being built and created because a whale is manipulating the price point, right? And there's nothing you can do about it. Whereas here, there's no adverse effect to some whale comes in and buys 1,000 of the NFTs and just dumps them all. Well, it doesn't change the impact of what that investment pays out. It still pays out the same thing, right? It's on a compound schedule. It pays it out. It's net neutral impact to what the underlying thing performs at. So while you still have the liquidity and the flexibility to move in and out of investments, it doesn't have as much of a material impact. It's kind of, theoretically, when you look at something like one of these DeFi kind of POLs or whatnot, you assume, I'm using air quotes with my fingers right now, you assume that the value of that never goes below the risk-free rate, right? Because it's backed by that particular amount of money. It sort of functions in that same kind of capacity, that there's this catch-all that protects it from really going below that value, because that value is going to get paid out. As long as these other investments that you believe in, that you're invested in, don't go to zero and rug, then there's always going to be that material payout, in addition to the 20% of earnings that are coming from the play to earn and metaverse, and in addition to the 50% of secondary market that's getting also reinvested into other projects.
And just to be clear, I want everyone to understand, you all are not planning a token launch, right?
Correct.
So
And that's on purpose. That's on purpose.
Yeah, go ahead and explain that. I think that's different than what a lot of projects with NFTs we see. We see a lot of these people going to NFT node type projects, but everyone's trying to launch their own token essentially, and so the issue then becomes like balancing the value of the token, et cetera. Can you guys explain why you didn't go that route and why you feel like what you're doing is a better path?
Well, one, it's a lot easier to manage a project when you don't have a token, because I think that's a lot of where the security issues and concerns tend to come from anyways, is from the tokenization aspect of it. And by removing that from kind of what we're doing and the scope of the project, it becomes a lot more simpler just from an administrative and a trust and a transparency standpoint. That's one aspect. But secondly to that, again, it goes back to, if you buy and again, I'm not going to pick on any project, because I think there's a lot of really good projects out there that do have tokens. But if you have a traditional kind of node NFT style project, or just DeFi as a service project, you're buying something that represents a certain amount of tokens that get paid out to you. And at some point, there becomes so many tokens in the market that it's not really sustainable anymore. We've seen it with pretty much every other project. It's a race to the bottom. And so wells start dumping on people. And then it becomes very manipulatable, where you have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 wallets that can manipulate the entire trajectory of a project on any given day. And so by making it an NFT, that NFT is tied to a different asset that doesn't have a token within our project that is reflected of it. It's just this NFT's value. So that NFT is always going to pay out that token amount no matter what. So if someone wants to exit it, then they're exiting it because they don't believe in the project anymore, not necessarily because they're trying to manipulate the floor. The floor will be ideally whatever the value is in USDC that is paid out passively, plus the other investments that are on the backside of that every single month. So it's much harder. I'm not saying it can't happen, because if you go on OpenSea or any of these other platforms and you're in the NFT space, that, like, yes, whales can still manipulate an NFT project, but it's much more difficult for them to do it, because the value of the floor is set by a broader community, and to a lesser degree by just like 1 or 2 individuals.
And I think the important point for people to understand, and why I personally prefer this method that these guys are using as opposed to creating your own token, is this. So if they're investing in other projects which have their own tokens already, when you add another layer on top of it, what you're essentially doing is you're just looking to profit share in the first layer, right? You want the profits from DAG or Gala or Strong or whatever their play to earn game, or whatever other exposure they may offer through their NFTs. But if you add another token layer on top of it, you add another layer of risk. You add another price going up and down. You add another price volatility of getting into the project. You add all of these like extra non-essential risks of having an additional token layer on top of it. And I think we've all seen that, we've talked about whales so far. It's very easy for whales to manipulate a token price, whereas if you all are paying out in something like USDC, there's nothing a whale can do to manipulate what price USDC is going to be on any day, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
All right. So we have a really nice large crowd here. I say we open it up. We get some of the questions from the people going on. Do you guys have anything you want to say or point out before we do that?
One thing and Numenor may have something he wants to talk about, but for me, I would say the main thing I really want to touch on is the play to earn metaverse mechanic, because I think that that really is at the center point of everything that we're doing. We've all, everyone's big in crypto on these big buzzwords, right? And it changes based on whatever the flavor of the month is. And right now, one of the big ones is obviously metaverse and play to earn and, gamification, these different things. And so, but like what we're seeing happen, and you can look across the board, like I think the easiest one to understand, because these are two of the most well-known kind of figures in crypto and gaming, are Elio Trades and Alex Becker. And Elio Trades, who runs Super Farm, he runs a Coinbase traded company that has 9 figures of TVL, and he has been working on a game for over 2 years with AAA gaming studio people, like 28 people working on this project, and has like put millions and millions and millions of dollars already into it. And he's not even in alpha yet. And they're just now about ready to launch their first NFT so that they can seed fund going into building towards a beta. And this is a guy that has a track record for delivering high-end value, very transparent, forward-facing projects in crypto. And 2 years in, he's not even ready for alpha yet, right? And so I think a lot of the promises people are making are disingenuous at best, and that's like giving them the benefit of the doubt, if not just like totally lying and rugging. And that's why when we set out to build this, we're not building a game. The game is already built. The game will work on PC. The game will work on console. It's already there. It's developed. It's not. We didn't do it. It's actually, we have nothing to do with that aspect of it. What we're doing is we're building upon an already existing framework that has millions of people using it. And so we're really focused on the in-game usability and the art assets and the additional kind of like skins and models that will be available in game. And that's what's going to make us able to deliver in a 90 to 180 day window. Is we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We are going to a store and procuring a wheel from someone who's been building it for a decade. And we're going to focus on the things that we're good at and limit that kind of deliverable timeline. And also, I think that ensures our success and our ability to deliver at a higher level. And the only reason we haven't really put all the kind of pieces on the table for everyone to talk about and discuss is that we're worried about getting front run, because as we've seen happen so many times in the space, as soon as someone starts doing something that's smart and kind of is sticky, everyone else starts to follow suit. So we intend to probably roll this out public facing and probably somewhere in the next like 30 to 45 days after launch of this first mint. And so there'll be more information coming if you're interested in this. Make sure you stay tuned, but because we do have several other mints that are going to follow in quick succession after the first one. One will actually be a metaverse land related aspect where you'll be able to actually own and rent land in the metaverse that we're building on right now. And then there's going to be some additional investments, some of that have already been kind of teased today by the Cryptonaires community, that are going to be following suit as well. So that's all I have. Numenon, you have anything?
Yeah, and I would just say, I mean, if you're familiar with Minecraft, I mean, it's going to be kind of voxel-based Minecraft type play. What the game's going to be.
So I had 2 things that I wanted to say. Is one, back to what Aries was saying about the something to pay attention to of all these projects saying that they're going to release a game in the next 3 weeks or 2 months or something like that. Like, this is not something that takes a short amount of time to develop without having major bugs and glitches and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's something that's going to set you guys apart, because you're already building on top of something that's already existing and proven itself over the last few years. And to all the listeners, like, that's something huge to pay attention to, is when a project is saying something that they're going to be releasing their own metaverse project or game. Like, it takes some serious time to develop that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Johhny, you have anything before we open it up?
No, along that vein, one of the reasons I wanted to bring you guys in and talk to you, as opposed to every single other play to earn game that we come across, which there's 17,000 of them at this point, is that for a game, and I've been a big gamer my entire life. I think most of us in here probably have been big gamers at one point or another, and we know how long it takes to deliver a game. There are games right now that I've been waiting for release on for, I swear to God, almost 10 years. Um, and so we know like anyone can crap out a little P2E game, but unless it's a good game and unless actually people want to play it, it won't do anything. So once again, I would echo what Scott says. Be careful of all these projects promising P2E games. Um, it's just going to be some garbage cell phone game that they uh, basically steal from some disreputable, place and then copy as their own, and it won't make any money, and they'll just steal your funds. These guys have a much more solid plan, which they can't tell you yet. Um, I have a little bit of inside alpha, which they've been nice enough to provide for me, and I won't tell you guys either, but let me say it's a much better plan than what's going on with most of these other P2E games. So with that, before I bring everybody up for questions, obviously because I can't control what everybody is going to say, I want you to understand that nothing you hear here is financial advice. We're discussing information. We're discussing new exciting projects and new information, but no one is asking you or soliciting you to buy anything. All right, do your own research. Um, with that, we're going to go ahead and start bringing people up for questions. Let's take Nostradamus up here real quick. We sent you an invite, buddy. Come on up if you can take it. Looks like he might be off. Let's move on to Who's
Who's
Rage.
raised?
Perfect. You're up here, buddy. You got a question?
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go for it, brother. You're on.
can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. What is the plan with the initial NFT? If you get that, is it going to allow you access to a pre-sale for future products, or are you going to have to get on another whitelist in order to get those as well?
No, I mean, if you have the first NFTs, then you'll be, it's not, we can't whitelist everybody, but you'll basically the first NFT holders will be the first people who have access to the whitelist for the future NFTs.
Okay, great. And then you also mentioned the gaming, and I heard you say console, as well as PC. Is there going to be the ability to do it on mobile as well?
Probably not mobile because I don't think it would run on mobile. But yeah, as far as like PC and console, it'll be available on those.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thanks for your time, guys.
All right, you're
Thank
very
you, sir.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Let's see. Anybody else have a question? It looks like Nostradamus is not logged on at this point. Anybody else want to come up? Anything you guys want to hear about? All right, looks like we got some more. Fancy Steven. Let's get him up here.
Gotta click the green box.
Yep, click the green box to accept the invite, brother. But yeah, there we go. There we go.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it wasn't there for some reason. I was waiting for it to pop up, and actually it's still there, and I already accepted. That's weird. Oh, it's gone now. Ooh, I got some delays going on. Okay, so if I'm not a big game player, is this going to be something that would be beneficial for me to get NFTs and
Yeah,
participate in this?
yeah. I mean, we're big fans of like of DeFi Kingdom, and we're basically going to create an economy in game so that you'll be able to, like, if you want to own a shop, or I mean, there's going to be, we don't want to list everything, but we're going to have a bunch of different avenues where you can buy an NFT for in game that you'll be able to sell stuff in game that will be needed to play, or desired items to play in game.
It's also, think about it, if the question would be better answered, if you actually want exposure in your portfolio to metaverse and play to earn investments, then it's probably a good place for you to park some capital. Not financial advice, I hate crayons, but that's how I would think about it, right? Is, if like, for me, I personally think that metaverse and play to earn is going to be a big kind of talking point and narrative, gaming in general within crypto. So if that's something that you also see as a trend and you believe in personally, then maybe that's something that you're interested in investing. Because the thing about the play to earn and metaverse mechanic is there will still be a way, even if you don't play the game, to passively earn income from the actual metaverse and play to earn mechanic. You don't actually have to engage and play in it. So there's a way to just hold it and still earn passive income off of it.
All right, you ready, Colin?
Okay, well that's cool because I'm not, like I said, not a big game player, and diversification is important to me because just getting stuck in one thing. So I was a little late to the party to the beginning of this, and did you mention on when this is launching and how to get started? I just honestly heard about you guys today, and so I jumped into the AMA because I'm a big believer in what this group is doing. And so, how does one get started? And this looks like, from my quick view, you already had a whitelist going on. I don't know if that's already completed or anything to that nature.
Well, they'll be the ones that CryptoNairs will be handing out, so you could get it, still get in there. And I have to see. I've been out for most of the day, but I don't know if we still have the invite contest for a few more whitelist spots.
Okay, I didn't know. So Kryptonaires is giving out some whitelist spots, and I didn't even see how they were doing that either. So I'll just have to look for that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have more details for you coming up on that soon. So I would just stay tuned to hear from them on that. But Numenon, you want to talk a little bit about the mint process?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, we kind of had to, because the whole Ukraine Russia thing went to, came about, we kind of like held off for a bit, but we're about to
Sure.
announce, we're probably going to try to start whitelist mint at the end of the week because we just got contract out of testnet. We're having that looked over now. But we're looking at doing like a 2-day mint for the whitelisters, and then hopefully this weekend go to public sale like Saturday, starting the public sale. And you'll be able to do, the whitelist guarantees you 1 mint, and then public sale you'll be able to mint 20 per wallet.
Okay, public sales 20 per wallet, and whitelist guarantees you 1 mint. Okay, I think you've answered all my questions. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it, Fancy.
Steven. Take care.
All right, looks like Yikes is next.
Yikes, I sent you an invite. You gotta. There you go. How's
There
it
we
going?
go.
Looks like you're muted.
Hello, good afternoon, or good night, I don't know. I'm not sure if you already told about this, but what kind of game it's gonna be?
The first game will be based on Spartan. It will be an ancient Greek world where we'll have an arena. We're looking at doing like a labyrinth, where we'll have like a maze with booby traps and maybe minotaurs and lions and tigers, and the first person to get
Map
through.
for how we're thinking that may change over time if there's an interesting fun theme, but so it wouldn't be crazy to see us come out with like an ancient Japan with like a samurai sort of themed one, or maybe a Genghis Khan Mongolian warlord type one, or Han Dynasty, or Mayan temples in South America and Mexico, or et cetera, right? You get kind of the gist. And each investment will have this different world. And what's interesting about this project is that the technology it's sitting on top of allows you to sort of interact between these different worlds or universes that you create, so that we can sort of tie them together over time from a playability standpoint.
And it seems to be that it's more like an action game than a turn-based game. Am I right?
No, not necessarily. I would say, you could look at it like, yes, there's action.
You
You
can do
could
in Minecraft, and then having crypto mechanics on top of it.
Yeah, gotcha. So, is there, last question, so is there any kind of white paper or documentation we can start reading about the project?
Yeah, if you
yes.
go to our Discord, you'll see the links to the light paper. The website should be launched any day, probably tomorrow, I imagine. So, but yeah, you can go to our Discord and find the links there. The website will be up, and then we also have our couple Medium articles, our
Roadmap.
our roadmap, FAQ, all that stuff.
Sounds good. How can I get the invite to the Squad channel?
We'll drop a link in Super Bowl, man, or we'll drop it in general chat once we're done here.
Great.
There's bears up here.
All right, I just sent you an invite. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good
Hey,
guys. Hey, I just wanted to throw out real quick for you that there's for anybody that was still seeking a whitelist for Sparta. There's still 4 spots left for if you can invite a minimum of 10 people. We still have 4 spots left over there. So I just want to throw that out for you guys real quick because I heard somebody bring that up.
Perfect. And I
Yeah,
know
bad
that-
news. Bears is on our Discord handling as a mod, so he's handling a lot of stuff over there.
So thank you
All right.
guys. I appreciate the project. Thanks, Kryptonaires, for hosting it, and you guys have a great day.
You as well.
appreciate you. Thanks.
All right, Crypto Ship, I just sent you a invite. Maybe.
I got it.
Hey, there you go.
Sorry about that. So, first of all, I'm here because of Bad News Bears. He just told me about the project today. The only question I think from follow up from the other one is how many NFTs initially are going to be released? And
2,500, 10% of those, which are 250, are the gold, and then 25%, which is like 625, are the silver, and then basically the rest are bronze.
okay, are they equally distributed in the private and in the public sale?
Yeah, it'll be a random mint. So whatever everybody gets is what you get.
That's also, I'm glad you brought that up, Crypto Ship. That's something to kind of talk about. It's also a unique aspect. Normally in all these other projects, it's like if you want to, and again, it's a great, like Hive is awesome, but like if you want the Queen Bee, you got to fork out 80 grand to get it. And for us, it's the most rare NFT. You have just as much of a chance to win that NFT and get the rare one as if you buy one or if you're a whale and you buy 20. There's really no difference. So it's really leveraging the NFT technology to capitalize on kind of the randomness of it and gamification of it to give everyone an equal chance of having the same outcome, which is, in our opinion, fun and also kind of evens the playing field a little bit. So that's I think kind of a value add that we're trying to bring to the table.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that a lot. And then I'm sorry, what platform is it being launched, and what funds are you accepting?
It'll be AVAX, so you'll need Avalanche. So basically, you'll need about $250 worth of Avalanche, plus the gas fees.
Yeah, okay.
And so and that should basically be calculated on the day of minting. The minting days will have updated figures.
Yep. And is your mint page via Kaleo, or is it your own mint page?
It'll be our own mint page, so that it'll be on our website, and then you'll go there, and then you can go to NFT trade for the reveal to see what you got.
Any insights into what Saturday looks like as far as other launches, congestion, or frankly, do you guys anticipate a sellout?
I mean, we don't know. I mean, we've got the traction's been pretty high. I mean, I think we've got 8,000 something Discord members now. So it's likely. We don't know. If not, we'll just keep the public sale open until it does sell out.
No, that's a ton. That's a ton of members. I actually couldn't even get an ant today through Avalanche. They sold 10,000 in like 15 minutes. So it was nuts. All right. Thank you for the time, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
take care.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's get SB up here.
All right. I just sent you a invite. Hey there, can you hear us?
You got to be at least 18 to mint the NFT.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Yeah.
SB.
Good. Hey, thank you. Sorry, I joined a little bit late, so if these questions are already covered, then I'm extremely sorry about this. But I just want to know, I think you guys said you are from US, right?
Yeah, are we
Sorry.
from the U.S.? Is that what your question?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
Yeah.
cool.
I'm
Then
I'm located right by Austin, Texas.
awesome. That's good. And also, you
Wow.
guys said you are outsourcing the development to a company. So is the team is also from US or are they from a different location?
They live in North America. Their docs, you can find them on our Discord, their LinkedIn pages, and they currently reside in Canada.
So that's good. The other question is, how about the NFTs? Do you have a fixed supply or how many NFTs you're going to probably
Yeah, so
sell
there'll
or
be
mint?
2,500 of the Genesis Spartan NFTs. And like we said, I don't know if you just got in. I mean, we will have NFTs to other projects that'll be like other core investments for those NFTs that we'll be releasing also.
Okay, so it's going to be a fixed supply and then new NFTs for the new investments you're going to do, right? The reason I was
Yeah,
asking is if you look at the
yeah,
Elixir project, it was flooded with the NFTs in the marketplace and nobody was there to buy them. So that's where the Elixir project literally failed. So I'm just curious about it.
yeah.
And also,
I didn't make. Go ahead. I didn't make out all that, but I mean, basically the Genesis, we'll have like a Genesis version for each NFT we do, which will be a limited supply and they'll have special benefits. But we will also have like Gen 2 NFTs that will have, that people can compound if they want more exposure to that asset. But it won't have all the same
Perks, yeah.
benefits of the Genesis NFT.
got it. Thank you. And how about do you guys have any plans to run it as a corporate entity? Do you plan to register the company, something like Atlas is doing, or you just want to just run it as a future project?
I mean, a lot of that depends. I mean, being in the U.S. on what regulation kind of comes about, and not that we're opposed to anything. It's like, but we're also in talks with an attorney just about what would be the best location and all that kind of stuff. So it's a possibility, but with the U.S. kind of being like,
Okay.
not having any concrete stuff as far as regulation goes, it's kind of up in the
Yeah.
air to see what.
Yeah, me
I think
personally, I think it's a little premature for a lot of, like, I've seen some people come out that they're registering, and honestly, I don't think that's very smart. If you're in U.S. based, I think you're asking to be classified as a security, and if and when the SEC decides to go in and start, subpoenaing and putting fines on people, those are the first people that will be subject to that because they'll just be front and center and fully doxxed. So, I just think without any sort of government direction on how they're going to handle the space, it's to me, it would be kind of scary to do that this early in the game.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sure they're
If
going to face definitely
Yeah, at
something
some
down the
point,
line. But I'm just curious
yeah,
because some people,
yeah, it's just
yeah,
to me,
sure.
it's like it's almost inevitable to not see something like that happen at some point. So, similar to what they did with ICOs and IDOs back in 2017.
Right, right. I understand. I think they're just trying to do it to gain the investor confidence. That's all. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and
Thank
certain
you.
projects like Atlas, it just depends on how they classify themselves. Since they're, a NOS, nodes as a service, they may be able to do that under LLC and be a little safer from being a security.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't really agree with that, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not an attorney, so.
Yeah, guys, it's important also, we say not financial advice, do your own research, but just understand everything we're saying right now is wild speculation. None of us
Yep,
have
yep,
any
yep.
idea what's going to happen with regulation, okay? They can come along tomorrow and completely wipe DeFi off the face of the planet, and as far as the United States is concerned. So just understand that is a risk of DeFi that does not get stressed enough. I would not have my entire portfolio sitting in DeFi, and I recommend that people be very wary of that risk. And that's the reason you're not going to get a lot of public doxing at this point is we don't know what the regulatory agencies and the IRS are going to do. Okay. SB,
Or
thanks
you
for your
know what?
questions.
You know what
We
though,
really
Johhny?
appreciate you.
Or
No, I
you could
think
see
I understand.
Russia. You could also see Russia pour 50% of its money into Bitcoin, and it could go up 100% in 30 seconds.
Yep. There you go. That could absolutely happen as well. Let's get Bob up here. Bob's been waiting patiently. Bob, thanks, SB. All right, Bob, it looks like you muted yourself, man.
Hey, thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Just had a question on the pay to earn aspect. You said you have multiple projects, so what will happen to the NFTs? Will they have specific projects that they'll be tied to get the reward pool out of, or will each NFT release have their own game that they're kind of attached to?
No, I mean there won't be a game for every NFT, but as we move forward, we'll be designing NFTs for other worlds. And then like Aries said, the worlds will be interconnected. So basically, you can see gameplay of where maybe it's the samurai come and fight a battle in the arena against Spartans or that kind of thing. So as we keep building out, we're going to keep expanding upon that. I mean that's long term. I mean right now it's going to be ancient. Greece is going to be there's a lot to build out there. So it's not like you know that's months of doing that alone. So
All right, that's all I had for you guys, but I appreciate you guys getting in here and letting us get some information before the release.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
Thanks for
problem.
your question.
All right. Anybody have anything else? It looks like we've been going for almost an hour now. We've got a lot of really good information out there. Anybody have anything else they want to hear from these guys before we let them go? Nothing. Okay. I just wanted to let everybody know these guys have been more than generous in giving our community some whitelist spots to give away. We're going to get together and we'll do the giveaway as soon as possible. It'll be within the next day for sure. So we'll post it in announcements and we'll post how we're going to get that done. Okay. Fellas, we really appreciate you coming out and talking to us. We look forward to the future success of your project and just keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing. Anything you want to leave us with before you go?
No, I mean we're just excited to get launched and then get on more to the play to earn. I mean that's really what I'm excited for is to get that going. Does the design pumped out and start releasing gameplay. So
Yeah, just thanks and excited for the support from the community, and can't wait for this weekend. It's going to be fun to start the ball rolling down the hill and get some momentum.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well,
Looking
we really
forward to
appreciate
it.
you coming by.
It's been a pleasure,
Thanks,
fellas.
everybody. Appreciate
Yep.
it, guys.
yeah.
All
Thanks everybody. Thanks Crypto Nars for having us. So.
All right.
Have a
Thanks
good
and
one.
good night, everybody.